In other news, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have signed a mutual strategic defense agreement.
Just days after Israel's strike on Qatar,
that any attack on either country will be considered an attack on both,
significantly strengthening their security partnership.
Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have just signed a landmark mutual defense pact, an agreement that could reshape the balance of power across the region. The deal declares that any aggression against one will be treated as aggression against the other, signaling a partnership built not on words, but on military commitment. When asked whether this pact places Saudi Arabia under Pakistan's nuclear shield, Saudi officials avoided direct answers, only stressing that all necessary defense means are included. In practice, this could mean Pakistani forces deploying to Saudi soil with advanced missile systems, a joint air defense network tied to satellite and interceptors, and even the silent but powerful reality of Pakistan's nuclear deterrent now extending by deliberate ambiguity over Riyadh. The details remain under wraps since the pact has not been released publicly. What is known is that negotiations stretched for over 2 years, culminating amid growing frustration with Washington's reluctance to curb Israel, with the Qatar attack serving as the decisive turning point. For Saudi Arabia, once seen as the model non-NATO ally of the United States, this move marks a dramatic break in trust with American security guarantees. It is nothing less than a bid for strategic independence, a realignment that could alter regional dynamics from China to India to Iran. Before we dive deeper into this geopolitical realignment, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss our amazing upcoming content. The Saudi-Pakistani pact may be bilateral on paper, but in practice, it signals the possible birth of something bigger, an Arab NATO. For decades, Riyadh, Doha, Abu Dhabi, and Manama leaned heavily on Washington for protection, hosting American bases while expecting the U.S. to guarantee their safety. Yet in recent years, Israel's unrestrained strikes against Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, and even Qatar have shifted the mood. The final shock was the attack on Doha, a non-NATO ally mediating between Hamas and Israel. That strike rattled every monarchy in the Gulf and stripped the U.S. security umbrella of its credibility. Saudi Arabia realized the old model was collapsing. If Washington would not restrain Israel, then Riyadh had to chart a new course. Turning to Pakistan made sense. For decades, Pakistan's military, battle-tested and nuclear-capable, has been seen across the Arab world as a reliable deterrent. The recent skirmish with India only reinforced that reputation. What began as bilateral talks soon snowballed into a pact that could attract others. Qatar, Turkey, Egypt, Bangladesh, and the UAE all stand as potential candidates to join or sign similar agreements. Technically, the deal between Riyadh and Islamabad is not a treaty, but in the Gulf, that distinction may not matter. It codifies a relationship that already had deep roots and projects the possibility of a regional military framework. The Saudis are not simply diversifying their security partners, they are laying the foundation for a collective defense system, independent of the U.S. In this sense, the Saudi-Pakistan Pact is not just about two nations. It could be the seed of a much larger alliance, one that redraws the balance of power in the Middle East. For Pakistan, this agreement could not have come at a better time. While Islamabad possesses nuclear deterrence, advanced arms production, and Chinese backing, its biggest weakness lies in economics. Wars are not won by weapons alone, but by logistics, energy, and money to keep the machine running. In past crises, India counted on Pakistan's fragile finances, fuel shortages, sanctions, or capital flight to limit its ability to fight long wars. The Defense Pact upends that entire calculation. With Saudi oil and financial backing, Pakistan gains a cushion that extends its endurance on the battlefield. It can now expand its arsenal, scale up its arms industry, and maintain larger campaigns if necessary. For Saudi Arabia, the value is equally profound. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman had initially pursued a defense treaty with Washington, even offering hundreds of billions in U.S. investments. But the White House tied any deal to normalization with Israel, a condition Riyadh rejected outright after the Gaza war. Netanyahu's campaign, viewed in Riyadh as genocidal, closed the door on normalization. Facing deadlock with Washington, the Saudis turned to Pakistan. Islamabad brings two critical advantages to the table: military capability and independence from the U.S. oversight. Riyadh now has a partner that can respond without waiting for American approval, while also bringing nuclear deterrence into the picture, even if only through strategic ambiguity. For Saudi Arabia, this pact is both a shield and a message. The kingdom is no longer bound to American conditions. The deal also risks entangling both sides in each other's rivalries. Pakistan could be drawn deeper into Saudi's tensions with Iran and Yemen, while Riyadh assumes a stake in Pakistan's disputes with India and Afghanistan. Yet, both governments have calculated that the risks are outweighed by the strategic benefits. In short, Pakistan gains endurance, Saudi Arabia gains independence, and together they both gain leverage. Perhaps the most consequential feature of this pact lies in its unspoken nuclear dimension. Saudi officials have carefully avoided spelling it out, but the signal is undeniable. Pakistan's nuclear deterrent now implicitly stretches over Riyadh. That very ambiguity reshapes the region, forcing adversaries to weigh the risk that any strike on Saudi soil could trigger a nuclear response from Islamabad. For the kingdom, this is nothing short of a diplomatic breakthrough. Riyadh has long wanted the deterrence that only nuclear protection provides, but could never obtain it from Washington without impossible concessions, such as normalizing ties with Israel. Now, without breaching non-proliferation norms, Saudi Arabia has effectively stepped under a nuclear umbrella. For Pakistan, the rewards are equally significant: profound prestige, greater regional influence, and access to Saudi financing free from IMF strains. Still, the agreement does not amount to a full divorce from the United States. American bases, advanced weapons, and defense technology remain central to Saudi security. This pact is best understood as hedging rather than decoupling. Yet, hedging carries weight. It signals that Saudi Arabia is no longer bound to rely exclusively on Washington or Tel Aviv, but now has an alternative shield, one that directly counters Israeli power and cushions against U.S. unpredictability. The implications extend far beyond symbolism. Backed by China, Turkey, and now Saudi Arabia, Pakistan enjoys unprecedented strategic depth. Its nuclear arsenal now projects influence across the Gulf, while Riyadh gains insurance against both regional rivals and shifting American policy. Together, the two countries have redrawn the balance of deterrence in the Middle West. In a sense, the pact provides Saudi Arabia with something it has never had before: a credible nuclear deterrent. For Pakistan, it delivers wealth and recognition. And for the region, it marks the dawn of a new geopolitical reality, where Saudi Arabia stands firmly under a nuclear umbrella, reshaping the Middle East in ways that will reverberate for decades. Want more fascinating insights like this? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel. Also, press that bell icon so you never miss out on our amazing content.